Hello everyone, welcome back to the Gaming Droid and welcome back to Modern Skyblock 3. Let's just load in all the chunks around us. Let's face in this direction so we can load in these chunks. Excellent. So, since the last episode, you may notice that there have been some changes. We have moved our storage from this room over here. And what we can actually do as well is we can actually move this as well. The reason being I want to set up a new mob farm, and I want my storage to be nearby to my mob farm, because the storage being nearby to the mob farm means we are going to get a much better return, or sort of we're going to be able to do it with much fewer piping, and piping is one of the things that is reasonably difficult. So I set up a few more passive pylons so that these things will charge my crystal while I'm about. I also sorted out the junk chests. So we've got immersive engineering, action additions, forestry, sci, compact machines, magneticraft, and then megaloots and tinkers. And in this one we've got embers and pneumaticraft, factory tech, BC transport, thermodynamics, astral sorcery, and bees. Then we've got weird stuff, which is just the random junk, blocks and base building blocks, and then we've got the seedlings as well. So we've got all of that sorted out. This thing here is my storage box. So we have our rarely used storage, we've got our silent gems, and we've got our assorted junk that comes through when we do loot boxes. And in here we've got our storage drawer, and then we've got this, which is funneling in wood from the wood farm. Now this is going to be the setup for the mob farm. The mob farm is going to start all the way over here. It's going to pump into this, and then the ember pipe's actually one of the fastest, cheapest forms of transportation. I mean, the item transportation on this is ridiculous. It's not actually the best way to show that off. I tell you what, let me grab like 3 stacks of these, and I'll show you how ridiculously fast this item transportation is. So it's a little bit kind of the image lags, but basically we got 2.5 stacks by the time we'd run up to the chest. A little bit laggy image-wise. It didn't look like they were there, but they were. There was 2.5 stacks in there, roughly. It seems to be when it's stacks of the same item that it has problems. But what we do have over here is we have some stone drums, some iron drums, some transfer pipes, some transfer filters, and some transfer nodes. And the reason we have these is we unlocked, in a previous episode, we unlocked extra utilities. This guy. And extra utilities gives us access to something that's going to make sorting these very easily. Because if we put an extra utilities pipe here, and we do this, and this, and then we need an extra utilities wrench, which I have made myself, and we go like that. Is it? Yeah, it's like that, I believe. So basically what will happen now is this will pump out, it'll try and put loot bags in there. If it can't put loot, if it's not a loot bag, it'll continue on down here. It won't try and go into here because this is locked by the transfer node, and also won't this transfer node won't try and send things back up this way. It'll then go into the anti-barrel, and then it will go into the storage drawers, like so. And then what I want is I want down here something else for it to go into, and that's going to be pumping it into a spare chest, into a spare colossal chest. What we can do is we can pop you there, so that's going to pump it into that one, and then we're going to use embers pipes. So we need item pipes, and we need an item extractor, and we need a lever, which is in base items. And then we can build our gold colossal chest. And then what we can do is we can pump them into here. So let's activate our flight and we'll wire that all up. So item pipes. If we need to make some more item pipes, they're nice and cheap. Oops, we overshot slightly. There we go. And as long as you've got Ember's pipes just running a single line and you don't have to do any sorting or anything, they're actually very, very efficient. Dang it, missed. There we go. And we can throw a lever on it and activate the lever, and that will do all of the excess stuff. And then we can seal this away under the floor. And so now when we have a mob farm, it will come into here. If it's a loot bag, it will go into there and the loot bag will open. Anything that can be anti-barreled will be anti-barreled. Anything that can be storage drawed will be storage drawed. And then everything else will come and sit in here. And then when we want to, we can trash can out specific things. So we can filter out to a trash can when we want to. The other thing I want to set going is I want to empty these guys. So we've got, I need another stone barrel actually. So these are our 2 stone drums. You and you. And we can make another stone drum really, really easily. We just need to teleport around randomly. It's fine. We just need to make a stone drum, which is really very simple. So. And this will empty out the liquid hoppers into the stone drums slowly. And then we can empty out everything else into other drums. So, drum, drum, and transfer nodes for liquids. And then transfer pipes for liquids, which is exactly the same as every other transfer pipe. And this will just allow us to reduce down the size of all of our fluid storage. But to make a mob farm, what we're going to need to do, now we've got our storage set up, is we're going to need to make a mob farm. And to do that, we need to get into another quest chain that we opened up, which is the Industrial Revolution. And what we want is we want to get the Mob Crusher, which is one of the things we can get in here. So the first thing we need is Tree Fluid Extractor. Now over in Thermal, we should have some of the machine frames already up and done, which is good. And the Tree Fluid Extractor requires us to get stone, a furnace, redstone, and an iron gear. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Redstone and stone. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple of them probably, just to speed this up. So let's make like 3 of these. And we need those, which I believe we've got in Weird Stuff. Is it in Weird Stuff that we've got those? We've got the wooden ones. Stone compound gears. There we go. Okay, we can make 4, so let's make 4. And what these do is these produce liquid latex. So for now, as this is the thing we're working on at the moment, I'll set this up here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, that was silly because we can only put 1 down. We can't put additional ones down. And this will start generating liquid latex. So what does the quest want us to do next? It wants us to get a bucket of liquid latex. That's fine. And the way we can do that is we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And throw down the pipes. And then we just need a tank. We can use a barrel. It's a little bit of kind of overkill because the barrel can store 256 buckets, but it'll be fine for now. So there we go. And we're getting a decent amount of liquid latex. I mean, we're already up to 600 millibuckets. That's not bad. The other thing we want to do is from extra utilities, we do want to start making some upgrades. So while we're waiting for that to tick along, I'll pop into extra utilities and we'll look at making a manual mill and some solar panels, which means we're going to need redstone and sticks. And I think we're also going to need ender pearls and iron. So, at extra util. So what we want to do is we want to make a manual mill, which requires 4 of these. And it also requires us to make some resonant ender shards, because we need to make resonating ender crystals. Which isn't too difficult. There we go, there's 8 of them. And then we need polished stone, and polished stone is pretty easy to do. Polished stone is just stone into stone brick into polished stone. So there's the manual mill, and then the solar panels are lapis and polished stone. Yeah, that's not difficult at all. And we'll make what? 12? 15? 15 will do. And for now, at least, we can actually set these up as a source of grid power. I don't tend to use solar panels, but it will make some elements of making grid power a lot easier. The next thing we need to do is make a resonator, because resonator will allow us to make stone burnt, which is the next big thing that we need to make. So the resonator is up here, and it's very simple. We just need a block of coal. Now the question is, do I have enough stuff to make a block of coal? I don't think I have enough coal. I do. I'm surprised. Other than that, it's just iron and redstone and another resonating core. And again, this can go in our we are currently working on it thing. And you can see that we've got 15 grid power. Now the next thing we need to do is throw polished stone into it, and it will turn it into stone burnt. And stone burnt is what we need to make the upgraded mills. Lunar reactive dust, stone burnt, and red coal. Red coal is just coal. Boost efficiency with an additional GP up to 700%. Current efficiency boost 90%. So it makes it better coal. And lunar reactive dust we can get by putting lapis in. What do we use lunar reactive dust for? We can dye things magenta. We can also use it to make biomarkers. We use it to make moonstones. So moonstones are part of the mod. They allow you to do some interesting things. Everything else is just dye. Yeah, everything else is just dyeing things. That's stone burnt. We can put in a piece of this, and then we can grab coal out of here. And we can do a piece of coal. Once we get some speed upgrades running, this thing will be very, very fast indeed. Ooh, that needs 16 GP, which it's not actually going to get. So we're going to have to use this to get it up to 16 GP. Because it would stop at 15, because that's our standard power generation. And this also needs 16 GP. So where are we with this? We have 3 buckets. Now that is not bad at all. So down in Industrial Revolution, we then have to make plastic, which requires the latex processing plant. So we're kind of doing these two mods side by side. We need 2 furnaces and an iron gear. So iron gear and 2 furnaces. And there's our latex processing plant. And the latex processing plant takes latex and water and turns it into little bits of So there we go, we've got water and power, and we can then give it latex, and it will turn it into little bits of rubber. Yeah, that latex gathering farm is being reasonably efficient. Let's get that up to 16, and that will get us the quest from extra utilities, I think. Yep, that gets us the quest from extra utilities. So while we're waiting for that to make plastic, which requires the little bits of dry rubber, in extra utilities, we can have a look at where we're going now. So advanced GP generation, enchanter, mechanical users, basic generators. You can create cursed earth by surrounding an enchanting table with redstone and killing a mob near it at midnight. So we can make cursed earth as well. So the advanced GP generators, lava mill, water mill, windmill, and fire mill. For that we need more stone burnt, so we'll get the stone burnt going. And we also need to make a transfer node for energy as well, because it wants us to do an energy transfer node to complete the transfer quest. There we go. So that's the transfer pipes quest done. What does the index do? The index allows you to interact with multiple inventories as long as they're connected to it via transfer pipes. It doesn't require power to function, but getting items out of it while it takes a while, and you need at least 8 GP for it to work. Oh, so this is like automated inventories. That's interesting. I wonder how powerful that is. The other thing we need to do is look at things like dark glass and the chicken wing. The changing of biomes is very, very sort of complicated and requires a lot of machinery, so we won't get into that immediately. But in the meantime, yeah, we're going to want better GP generation. So let's look up the term mill. And one of the best ones to start with is the water mill. It's one of the most expensive, but it's also one of the ones that generates the most power to start with. Thankfully, we have lots and lots of resources all over the place. And there we go, there's our water mill. And the way the water mill works is the water mill requires water around it, would you believe? It requires water, being as it is called a water mill. I'll just set it up in the corner just to show you. And basically, it doesn't require still water, it requires running water. And the best way you can set up running water is to set up a still water in each corner. And that gives us 31 GP. The lava mill literally just needs a bit of lava next to it. Very, very simple one to use. You just take a bucket of lava and put it next to it. Having lava on multiple sides doesn't help. It's literally just a case of lava on one side is what you need. Like so. And that will generate 2 power. And it doesn't matter how many sides it's on, it will only ever generate 2, unfortunately. Okay, so that is the generators built, and what I will do is I will now skip to actually making or actually building an area where we can use these things. And we're back. Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. So you might notice we have a little bit of power now. We have 138 grid power. That used up quite a bit of redstone to make, but yeah, the reason we have that is we've got a 9x9. There's no real point, I mean, technically having more than, I think it's 8 of these things or 7 of these things really reduces the efficiency of them. So we're losing 20% efficiency. That actually doesn't really, like, we're still getting extra power from having more of them, we're just losing 20% efficiency. These ones, we've also got 6 of these, each of these generating 4 from the fire. So we've got a nice little efficient collection. In the meantime, we have been bucketing backwards and forwards with this. Shifting buckets of latex into this machine because we're making plastic. So what we should have in here is we should have lots and lots of piles of dry rubber, which we do. tiny dry rubber piles. And what we can do with these is we can use these to make dry rubber. And then we can use dry rubber in a smeltery to make plastic. And the mob slaughter factory, which is what makes meat. So there we go. And mob slaughter factory is what it wants us to make. The mob slaughter factory kills animals to collect certain fluids, and that will get us pink slime as well as meat. But what we want to make is we want to make the mob crusher, because that's going to be our killer. So we do have access to the mob crusher. I thought we did. I thought we had access to the mob crusher. You can all yell at me in the comments for being an absolute twit. I know, I know. Ah, okay. So the mob crusher is going to help solve that problem. Okay, so a mob crusher. Nope, goes down facing the direction we're not facing. That's fine. And I just put it down in exactly the same way. So same way twice. Okie dokie, so what I need this to do is I need to have powering into it, which means I need phantom face and a couple of phantom connectors on top. And then I'm going to need a pipe. I knew I had it. I knew I did. Redstone energy conduit. And then we need to connect the two together. So we can hop over here and go U. And then we need to make an area upgrade for this thing. So we need to make one of the upgrades. It may not be called an upgrade. At industrial. So one of these things, it's called a range add-on. So we want a pretty big range add-on. We can get an 8-tier range add-on, diamonds for 9, platinum, an 11 with emerald. Let's try an emerald one, because we've got quite a few emeralds. Let's try an emerald range add-on and see if that works. Show area. So that fills up most of that area. And actually that's pretty good because it fills it right to the back. It just doesn't do these two side areas. So that's fine. Ah, you're not pumping items out. That's a problem. Now is that because this guy is set to accept a redstone signal? Oh, okay, so these pipes can't actually draw items out of here. That's a minor issue. Let's troubleshoot this. What we've got to do basically is get items out of this into a something that can. So if we do this, and if we grab one of our transfer nodes, where have we put our transfer nodes? I think we put them in here. Yeah. We grab one of our transfer nodes and some transfer pipes. We might need to give this a stack upgrade, but what if I do like this? Okay, so it is emptying stuff slowly out of there now. So that's fine. So that works. It's a little bit jank, but it works. It's a little bit jank, but it works. And the reason one of the reasons I've got this chest is I can now do this, and all of these items will self-filter, self-sort. There we go. And we can use these to make some upgrades. Stack upgrade and a couple of speed upgrades, I think will do. They'll use up power, but that's not a problem. If we attach that there and go... There we go. And that's going to be nice. That's going to be quite slow, but we should be able to throw some speed upgrades in there without any problem. I don't think the speed upgrades in there will cost us anything. Yep, so now I'll just pop underneath to see. This thing is now being filled with energy. It's using up energy. It's killing things inside the mob room. Anything it kills, the drops get sucked into this pipe and sent on through the sorting system, and all of the fluid essence gets pumped into this tank. So there we go. We now have fully automated mob farm, thanks to the mob crusher, and a nice tidy mob farm as well. So resourceful furnace. Collects it from them, or a resourceful furnace that can smelt 4 items at a time and produces it after they've smelted. Ah, so we can use the resourceful furnace to smelt up items, and it also produces mob essence. Okay, so that's actually a pretty efficient furnace. Interesting. If I pop you here, you can just smelt any 3 items at once. That's a nice little efficient furnace. Not bad at all. It wants us to make pink slime, which requires the mob slaughter factory to kill some mobs. We can do that quite easily. We can just swap out the mob slaughter factory later on. Playing around with enchantments, using essence, black hole storage, automatic trading. This is one thing we want to have a look at. Thank you. And there we go. So there's the villager trade hall. And the villager trade hall uses power, as well as I believe we need a villager in a mob. A villager in a... you can capture a villager and use it in the exchanger to automatically trade with it. Now, the question is it only going to give us access to the trades that that villager had? So let's say we take our jam villager. We've got our jam villager. Is it only going to give us access to jam trades? If it's only going to give us access to jam trades, then we're going to need to find a villager. Yeah, it only gives us access to the trades that that villager... Although slightly different ones, because it's 1 emerald for 1. Okay, so we're getting slightly different trades. If I take you with me, I want to see what trades we get. Because the villager itself gives different trades to that. Not exactly 100% different trades, but different trades. So this guy, 105... Ah, I see. It's the same trades, it just hides the numbers. I see. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get hold of a decent villager. So what I'll do is off camera I'll grow some pumpkins and I will set up to use the villager trader. Because what we need to do is we need to grow some pumpkins and we need to make some more villagers so that we can find a decent villager to trade with. So I want to have a look at the generators. So we've got a whole bunch of generators in here. So at extra so these guys, and it wants us to make basically all of them, which is going to require quite a bit of iron and quite a bit of cobble. Luckily we have 3,000 iron. So the first one is pretty simple. It's just a furnace And this produces a very small amount of energy, but can burn anything. The next one requires machine casings. It's not too problematic. Machine casings are reasonably easy to get hold of. There's 16 of them. This guy basically burns fuel from a furnace fuel, and it produces a bit more energy. This guy is a culinary one, so we need meat and veg. And the culinary gen, as you might imagine, uses food to produce power, which isn't a bad idea. The magmatic generator. So let's make like 21 of these. And then let's make 4 of these to start with. The magmatic generator uses lava to create power. Which we don't really like. We have blaze powder being used to make lava, which isn't a bad source of lava. But at the same time, it's not a great source of lava. So there we go, there's the magmatic generator. The heated redstone generator uses up the magmatic generator. So I'm just going to make sure that that's been detected. Yep, magmatic generator has been. And the heated redstone generator uses liquid redstone. Liquid redstone and lava combined to make power. It makes quite a bit of power, but it uses heated redstone and lava combined to make power. The ender generator, 1 obsidian, 5 ender pearls. And uses up ender pearls to make power. Would you believe? It's not actually a bad one, because with our loot farm the way it is, and with the fact that we get nebulous hearts, we could probably sustain that one quite well. The pink generator just uses anything that is the colour pink, so we need some pink dye for that. The explosive generator uses gunpowder or TNT. So you can see that we can turn all sorts of different resources into power. The slimy generator, slime. This one we can do. There's a slime generator. As you can imagine, that uses slime. When you've got slime trees, which we do, that's not a bad idea for a generator. The overclocked generator is basically a furnace generator, but over time he gets better. So the longer you use him for, the better he becomes, basically. I believe. Oh no, he uses all sorts of chemical solutions at 4,000 RF a tick. So if we have a look at the ender generator, the ender generator produces 40 RF a tick. The TNT generator produces 160 RF a tick. Heated redstone is 160. Lava, I think, is 40. The culinary generator produces a whole array of different amounts, with golden notch apples being 96. Corned beef hash, so some of the really big things from Pam's Harvest Craft, 102, 104. And it's all based basically on their values. The higher the values, the better the amount of energy it's producing. And then those into pink dye, and then I should be able to make a pink wall and make a pink generator. And need some more redstone. No worries. Ooh, we're actually out of redstone. We've used so much redstone in this episode that we're actually running out of redstone. That's a rarity. We can make more. So the pink generator uses anything that's pink. Can also use dirt for some reason. I'm not quite sure why dirt. To generate 40 RF a tick. And I think if you give it some very nice pink things, it can generate more. Nope, it's just anything pink. Anything pink will generate 40 RF a tick, including dirt, which is just odd. But things like pink lamps and pink flowers and pink blocks, all 40 RF a tick. Now, with automated harvesting of crops and the AgriCraft flowers, the AgriCraft Botania flowers, you could actually automate that reasonably easily. We have everything else in there. Now the death generator I'm not particularly familiar with. It uses mob drops. So bone blocks and wither skeleton skulls, rotten flesh and bones. So bone blocks, we could probably automate the crafting of bone blocks, and we could probably feed it bone blocks to get 120 off a tick. So you can see we've got a lot of generator options. The frosty generator. Frosty generator just requires snow. And I'm guessing that the frosty generator uses snow or ice. Yeah, snow or ice to generate 40 RF a tick. Any snow or ice item. Again, we could automate that reasonably easily. The potion generator. These blaze rods, which we do have down here. So let's make up the potion generator. And this just uses potions, and it depends on what potion you give it. Water bottles are 10, mundane potions are 20, and we can go all the way up to ITR for tick with splash potions, or 320 RF a tick with a splash potion of second chance. This enchantment generator, we need to make magical wood first, and we need to make a furnace generator. And an enchantment table. And the last one we need to make is the halitosis generator, which requires purple blocks and end rod. So we can't make those just yet. So we have a whole array of different generators that use different things. Furnace fuels, cold things, potions, furnace fuels but very slowly, food, mob drops, pink things, heated redstone, so liquid redstone, slime. What do we get from the slime if we feed it certain things? It's slime and milk together. Slime and milk together give 400 RF a tick. That's actually not bad. We could automate both slime and milk reasonably easily for 400 RF a tick. A little bit of a lag spike because we're going in and out of things and it doesn't like it. Ender generators use ender items. Explosive generators use TNT. Overclock generators use just furnace fuels, I believe. Oh no, that's the one that uses weird liquids. So, a whole array of different generators we can use. The halitosis generator down here uses dragon's breath from the end dragon, and the disenchantment generator uses enchanted items, which we generate from our loot drops from our mobs anyway. So we can make some of these. Now the purple blocks and the mystical wood we need to get into. So magical wood. Magical wood is material from extra utilities that can be used for making useful tools and can replace bookshelves near enchantment tables. So let's have a look what we need for magical wood. We can't do this recipe because we require the stage EU to do it, so we'd need to make magical wood in an enchanter. And the enchanter is pretty easy to make actually, we just need an enchanted book and 2 diamonds. So I bet you we don't actually need these bookshelves at the bottom. I wonder if we even need these ones. Yeah, we don't. We just need the ones at the bottom. That's fine. Okay, so we've got magical wood on the cook. We've got a whole bunch of generators to work with. We've got some latex cooking. And we've got our mob farm up and running now. Slowly, well, not so slowly generating mob essence. I'm going to have to find a way of dealing with that because once it's full, it's full. But in the meantime, this guy is working quite happily, killing off mobs. I need to make some more upgrades to speed up this guy in here, because he's quite slow at emptying the bags. And possibly even speed up this guy. Like, this is the problem with these, is they're quite slow. they're good because they auto sort for you, but they're quite slow, which is why I was using the bunny hop method. And then these are the items that don't go anywhere. So the buried treasure maps we'll want to filter out. The diamonds, the shulker soul vials we don't mind. We can fit these in a drawer somewhere, I think. Yeah, you can go in avoid upgraded drawer there. The impossibly hard wheat sticks we can pop into a drawer up here. And we can add additional things to these drawers as we go. But I think we did a decent amount of progress there. We've got latex, we've got generators, we've got an enchanter making magical wood, and we've got a mob farm up and running, and we just need to make some villagers for our villager hall. So I will do some bits and pieces in between this recording and the next, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye, everybody.